Well, America's gun obsession. How do we talk about that particular subject without getting everybody all riled up over their freedoms and their rights? I got the right to carry a gun. I'm an American citizen. I got freedom. And they're trying to take away my rights. I don't mean that offensively to anyone, because I've been hearing it for the past 30 years, or at least the last 20 years where I've been paying attention. Since about 98, I've been hearing they're going to take our gun rights away. Yet today, if I'm not mistaken, there are more guns than there ever have been in this country. And it seems that this entire conservative movement was trying to use this idea that Obama was going to take the guns away as a fuel to get a majority of the American gun-owning Americans opposed to the administration, when it was never really about guns. Our country is obsessed with guns. We give guns to the cartels. We give guns to the enemy. We give guns to soldiers that we're fighting against. We have given more guns to the world than anyone. And the fact that we have available guns in our own country is a right of ours. And yes, it is a constitutional right to own a firearm. There's a big difference between understanding and being a respectful gun owner and just being a buffoon that wants to carry your gun into a restaurant. Now, what inspired me was this news article about all these groups that have been carrying their rifles into restaurants. And they'll go in there and they're taking photos of their group. It's become, or at least for a while, it was this big thing to go in with a group of friends with a gun in a restaurant, take a picture of yourself and post it online. Look at me, I have a gun. Look at me, I'm carrying my gun into a restaurant. Meanwhile, the better adjusted people in society have to deal with those people. And I've known gun fanatics and I know how they are about their weapons. It's almost as if they have this sexual relationship with their firearms, totally obsessed, cleaning them all the time and taking them apart, putting them back together, buying as much ammo as they can. And then there's the other side, the people who have never, say, used guns at all, who are totally opposed to guns, who say that guns are dangerous, guns will kill, and, guns should be banned. I'm neither of those sides. I'm a person who understands firearms, I know how to use one, and I don't obsess over the idea of it, because it is what it is. It's a tool. A firearm can be used to defend you if you need defense, or it can be used to hunt if you need food. But a group of people carrying rifles into a restaurant to prove a point did nothing but make gun owners appear less responsible with their weapons. And in fact, they are doing more damage to their own movement than they could ever imagine. In fact, because of the people doing this in these restaurants, all of these restaurants have since then banned carrying in their restaurants, which as a business they have the right to do that. They can determine who they want to serve and who not to serve. So people could have gone on with their daily lives carrying their guns into restaurants all they want, minding their own business, but as soon as you go out and try to prove yourself and attract attention to the idea, you're merely destroying your own. I guess my point is that gun fanatics ruin it for everyone else, because there are a lot of responsible gun owners out there who just have a rifle or a pistol or both. They have it put away, they have it locked up or where they need it, and there it sits. Sometimes people don't touch it for years. If you pick up and play with your gun every single day, then you're a fanatic, as far as I'm concerned. And I believe that it stems from low self-confidence and low self-esteem a lot of the time. People feel stronger and tougher with their weapons. And I have no problem saying this because I know people like this, and I've grown up with people like this, and I understand the mentality of guns. But the old joke about how they're going to take our gun rights away, it hasn't had any fruition. Nobody's gun rights have been taken away. In fact, they've been so opposed to any change whatsoever that I can't remember which governor, I think it was Alabama, he said, well, I'm going to remove background checks and waiting periods for guns in my state because people have the right to have a weapon. As if the system didn't work just fine as it was. Great. Now we have people who don't even need a background check, who don't need a waiting period for their weapons. We have a reason for the purposes we do these things, you know. And as a society, we all have our own opinions. Some people want guns banned completely, and some people want guns available. They want to be able to carry a bazooka down the street. And I guess the way that I see it is that majority usually rules. I've never found a need to carry a gun. If I was in a really dangerous part of town, in a dangerous place, then I might. But carrying a weapon when you need one, as opposed to, let's say, just carrying it around all the time and then showing it off, there's a large difference. And I think every one of us, at least the guys out there, probably know at least one guy who's so obsessed with his guns that every time you go to his house he wants to show you his new gun, or he wants to pull it out and show you. I had two friends that had carry permits when I was younger, you know, and they were so proud of it, you know, always showing off their guns. Look, I can carry a gun. And just because they could carry it, they would carry it everywhere they went. Leave it in their car. You know, it was just ludicrous to me. But, you know, that's your right if that's what you want to do. So, I guess the message that I'm trying to convey here is if people want to have their weapons, that's fine. If people want to have their tools, that's fine. Whatever people want to consider their gun, whether it's a tool or a weapon, that's up to them. And as an American, you have that freedom of choice to own these things. But don't go around pretending like your rights have been, you know, skewed merely because you have to wait a little longer for, you know, a background check, or because you actually have to get a background check. You know, we have to keep our people safe from the nutcases, and there are plenty of them out there. So, you know, gun laws are a touchy subject. Some people say that, you know, nobody should have a right to tell them what they can and can't carry, or when they can and can't carry. But the fact is, society disagrees with that. Society says, if I have a place of business, I can say I don't want weapons in my place of business. This is nothing new, and it has nothing to do with freedoms. In the Wild West, it was the same way. You know, a lot of saloons, they wouldn't allow you to have your weapons in the saloon. It was not to try to keep your freedom away. It was to try to protect people who were innocent that may be caught up in some sort of a crossfire, or maybe just to ease the tension so people don't just pull their guns as soon as they get upset about something, because enough people do. And people even flash guns at each other in their car because of road rage and all this. So naturally people are going to be opposed to them. So I'm coming from a standpoint of a guy who's not opposed to weapons. I'm not opposed to guns. I'm not opposed to having guns. I'm not opposed to anyone who wants to bear arms. But if you're going to dress up in camo with 10 people and walk into a Chipotle with your rifles on your back, you're a complete moron. And you're just ruining it for your own cause. And so I just wanted to get that across. Don't be an idiot. Just be quiet. Enjoy what you have, you know. Know that you're protected. Don't have to prove it to the world. Gun fanatics are just out there to me, and they're scary people. There's some pretty funny pictures online of people posing with their guns. And this one that always keeps coming up of this guy laying back with like this big fat guy with a Speedo on, and like all his guns laying out in front of him, and he's holding his pistol. And it's like, you know, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up, you know? I guess my dad taught me how to use a firearm when I was young, you know. When I was like 7 or 8, I was shooting the .303 British rifle. I was pretty crack shot, and I know how to handle myself, but I've never been obsessed with guns or needed any. It's not my thing. It's just that I'm aware of them, I know how to use them if I need, but I've never had a point where I was in need of having a gun on me to defend myself, where I couldn't get out of it a different way. Because guns are often just a quick way. Point and shoot and ask questions later. So, responsible gun owners will know where I'm coming from. Fanatical gun owners will think that I'm just an asshole, and everyone's free to their opinion. But the fanatics are the assholes, in my opinion, and they need to get their shit straight and realize that guns don't make you a bigger man. Being a man makes you a bigger man. Take care, everybody.